Hey guys, so today I'll be showing you how to make a Spiderman web shooter from The Amazing Spider-Man. So this web shooter uses some pretty simple materials like springs and magnets, and I'll have everything I use linked down in the description below. I designed all the parts using Onshape, and went through 2 prototypes before I finalized the design. I do want to give credit to Sean's crafts, as many of the mechanisms I used were inspired by his latest web shooters. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So to start off, the first step is to head over to my settings page and download the STL files for this print. From there, you can export the files to your slicer and adjust the settings to your liking. I used 0.2mm layer lines, 3 walls, 15% gyroid infill, and tree supports. Be sure to orient the projectile sideways so that there are no weak points along the layer lines. I printed all the parts with blue PLA except for the middle circle, which I printed in red. After all the parts are printed, the first thing I did was just to use some super glue to attach the red circle. Next, on the stop block, there are 2 notches where I used a tiny rainbow loom rubber band to attach it to the web shooter. Then, I took an elastic band and cut it to around the width of my wrist. And since I can't sew, I just used a stapler to attach the ends together. Now to actually be able to pull the trigger, I just used some really thin and transparent nylon string to thread it through the hole on the trigger block and tied a knot in it to loop my finger through. Now, moving on to the web cartridge, I just put a dab of super glue in each hole and put a 5mm by 2mm magnet inside. To attach the corresponding magnets in the body of the web shooter, I found the correct orientation of the magnets and stuck them to a piece of duct tape. Using the back of my tweezers, I carefully stuck the magnets in the web shooter so that they were flush with the sides. It should look like this when you're done. Now, the web cartridge should snap in place and hold securely. For the projectile, I first glued an 8mm by 2mm magnet to the front. This will allow us to actually stick to things when we shoot. Next, I glued a 30mm long spring as well as another 5mm by 2mm magnet to the end. Now we can actually shoot the projectile from the web shooter. So for the webs, I decided to use some dental floss as it's pretty lightweight. I attached the floss to a magnet, which allows us to stick the string to the projectile. So to actually shoot this thing, I first stuffed all the string into the web cartridge using tweezers. Then I loaded in the projectile, making sure that the trigger block was securely in the notch on the projectile. Then I stuck the string onto the back of the projectile and slid the web cartridge into its slot. Now we are ready to shoot.